Hello, your Uncle Spurt here, and today we're having a good hard squint at the bargainous Honor 400 Lite. Just 250 quid buys you a massive blower with a poppy AMOLED display, a big old battery and a selfie cam that's ideal for those sexy club snaps. Plus a camera button that's somehow less pants than the iPhone 16 Pros, despite the fact that Apple's brick costs 4 times as much. Factor in the obligatory AI shenanigans, which again somehow is less rubbish on this budget Android blower than on Apple's overpriced CAC, and suddenly you begin to realise it's actually a better idea to snaffle a cheapy Android than to spunk out $1,000 for an iPhone 16 Pro. After all, you'll be saving yourself 750 quid, which is almost half a year's worth of Greg's meal deals. Anyway, I had my sim slipped inside the Honor 400 Lite these past few days, so let's check it out. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, scrutinising the design of the Honor 400 Lite. I don't think many people would have guessed that it's a £250 handset. It's quite clear that Honor has taken inspiration from the iPhone here. It's not as much of a wide boy, but you've got nice skinny bezels up front, perfectly flat display as well, and of course a bit of a chunkster of a selfie cam orifice. And then of course you've got the very much in fashion, completely flat edging, which I'm not a massive fan of, but thankfully the Honor 400 Lite, pretty comfortable to clutch. Certainly helped by the fact that it's a very slender handset, and of course you've got those rounded corners to improve the hand feel. And Honor has gone for a basic plastic frame, unsurprising given the price point, though it does betray this phone's budget roots, but it does at least have a metallic style matte finish. It certainly looks decent, doesn't get grubby, doesn't pick up fingerprints or anything like that. And then flip around back, and yes, that iPhone inspiration seems to be all the more apparent from the big old chunky square camera bumper, though I actually prefer the look of the Honor 400 Lite to the iPhone. I think there's a bit more style in here, a bit more flair. You've again got a matte surfacing for the rear end, which can get a little bit grimy, just have to give it a good old buffing up every now and then. And thankfully that camera bump doesn't stick out too far from the back end, although you will of course get the usual table jiggle. Overall, I think it looks pretty ruddy smart, especially again for this budget price point. You can grab the Honor 400 Lite in 3 different colours. This is the velvet black model. You can also grab it in velvet grey and Mars green with 2 R's, which is a 1980s group responsible for that red hot 87 banger Pump Up the Volume. I'm not really sure that's what Honor was going for. And so far, touch wood, the Honor 400 Lite seems reasonably tough. Obviously only been using it as my full-time phone for a few days, but even after just a few days, these plastic phones can sometimes scratch up a bit, especially down here near the bottom of the back end, but so far no superficial damage whatsoever. You got a pre-installed screen protector slapped on there as well. Unfortunately, the Honor 400 Lite isn't fully water resistant, which is pretty rare at this sort of price point. It's IP64 splash and dust resistant, but these past few days it's certainly got pretty damn moist, and as you can see there, absolutely no troubles. And in fact, even when the screen and your fingers are quite moist, it still works really well, still surprisingly responsive. A lot more responsive than some flagships I've tested, yes, including the likes of the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, when you want to actually turn on and use the Honor 400 Lite, where you've got an in-display fingerprint sensor housed right there near the bottom edge of the display. And of course it is just your basic bog standard optical fingerprint sensor, but I've had absolutely zero aggro from this the past few days. It's perfectly responsive, if not quite the fastest acting optical sensor I've used. And you've also got full face unlock support in backup, which seems to work really well, even in completely dark environments. It doesn't even ever turn on the wee selfie cam flash, which is probably just as well because it is slightly startling, as we'll demonstrate later. And then once unlocked, you're straight into a tasty bit of MagicOS 9. And Honor has not yet stipulated how many years of OS updates and security patching you can expect here on the 400 Lite, but I'd expect it to be around the sort of 2 or 3. Don't expect, 6-7 years of support like what you would get with a Google or a Samsung smartphone, for instance, and that security patching is almost certainly going to be quarterly. Like most Android launchers these days, MagicOS is pleasingly customizable. Can quickly and easily tweak the wallpaper, the themings, the icons, change up the lock screen style, etc, etc. Lots of different options to choose from. And I did actually mess around with it a bit, changed up the default font because I really wasn't a fan of the one that came on here originally. plenty of animations, etc. to play around with. One of my only bugbears is the fact that the always on display isn't always on, calls itself an always on display, but it only actually displays when you prod the bugger. So that's one area where the iPhone 16 Pro actually beats the Honor 400 Lite, because fair play to Apple, their always on display is actually always on. But otherwise, MagicOS is packed with some pretty great features. It's quick and easy to enter split screen mode for a bit of multitasking, something you still can't do on those iPhones. Got a pretty slick gaming mode as well, which is packed with some really useful tools and features. Make sure you're not disturbed when you're getting your bit of Genshin on or whatever. And of course, like many mobile manufacturers, Honor is balls deep and beyond when it comes to AI shenanigans. And the somewhat hilarious part is they seem to be doing just as good a job as Apple, if not better. So for instance, you've got yourself a smart camera feature like the iPhone's so-called visual intelligence, except it's not actually shit. And that's because it uses Google image search by default rather than Apple. So the Honor can identify pretty much anything going, whereas the iPhone could just about stretch to common houseplants and cats. Even then it was hesitant to commit at times. And the Honor 400 Lite also boasts the Magic Capsule, which is basically a straight up rip-off of Apple's floating turd and works in much the same way. Spaffing out media controls when you need them, yada yada. And then there's also the Magic Portal, which basically has you dragging your knuckle around any image or whatever you want to do an AI type thing on. You can basically save these away to your favorites space for viewing and sharing later. Otherwise, you can just instantly share there and then using some of your favorite apps. And personally, got to admit, didn't really use this very often because the whole knuckle drag thing can be a bit hit and miss. Sometimes it just doesn't work at all. And frankly, you might as well just use good old Google Circle to search, because again, you can quickly and easily share an image as well as search for it. And you can even, again, share it to your favorite space. And on top of that, of course, Circle to search can identify tunes, translate text, etc. And with Circle to search, it's much easier to translate any foreign speak that pops up on your smartphone as well. Although Honor AI does include a pretty decent interpretation tool as well, which can translate to and from English into a decent variety of alternative languages. There's no image generation bollocks or message rewriting shenanigans on here, which frankly I do not miss at all. It's just a complete waste of time and space. The only useful AI feature that Apple had on its iPhones, which you don't get on here, is the web summarization tool. That's basically it. And it's good news on the storage front as well, kiddies, because Honor has crammed 256 gigs of the stuff into the Honor 400 Lite. That's pretty bloody generous for a budget phone, and especially so when you consider that, again, Apple offers just a measly 128 gigs as standard in its iPhone 16 Pro, which, can I remind you again, costs a friggin' grand. If you want to double that up to 256 gigs to match the Honor 400 Lite, well, that's another £100 you'll have to slip into Timmy Cook's G-string. Now, another highlight of the Honor 400 Lite is the capacious 6.7-inch AMOLED panels slapped across the front end. You've got a 2412 by 1080 pixel resolution, so visuals reasonably crisp despite the size. And while there's bugger all HDR playback specified in apps like Netflix, you still get some lovely, gorgeous, eye-pleasing contrast. Some proper deep blacks, some crispy whites, really poppy colors as well, which can be tweaked in the display settings if you fancy. So certainly movies, games, animated fare in particular look absolutely stunning. It's just a shame about the slightly chunky selfie cam orifice, which does intrude on the action when you go full screen, much like those god-awful iPhones. The display does get quite bright, although I did struggle to see the screen outside on a proper sunshiny day when I was wearing shades. I had to do the whole squinting underneath them to actually read my messages, etc. thing. But without shades, I could still see what was going on absolutely fine. It's just if you are living somewhere that is a bit sunnier than Britain, so pretty much anywhere besides a cave 600 feet underground, you might possibly want to consider upgrading to a phone with a slightly brighter panel. If you are sensitive to a bit of OLED flicker, well, you got 3840Hz PWM dimming on here, as well as all the usual eye comfort shenanigans as well, so it's good for a bit of that late night browsing. And you got support for up to 120Hz refresh rate as well, so silky smooth. However, the audio side of things not quite as satisfying. One of the big disappointments of the Honor 400 Lite is the mono speaker arrangement. It's still reasonably loud when you max out the volume, but the quality overall is a bit meh, and of course it's proper lopsided. Let's see, you certainly won't want to listen to any music through this thing, although that goes as pretty much standard for any smartphones as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, if you're just going to enjoy a bit of Netflix or whatever, definitely get some Bluetooth buds or headphones or something on the go. The wireless streaming's been almost perfect on this thing. I've had a couple of instances where the audio streaming's just faded out just for a split second. Only happened a couple of times for me. Hopefully won't be a proper regular bug or quirk, but certainly worth noting. So what's actually powering the Honor 400 Lite? Well, that would be MediaTek's Dimensity 7025 Ultra, backed by 8 gigs of RAM. This Dimensity chipset is comparable to everyone's favourite budgety Snapdragon, the old 695. And it's the exact same chipset that was running the show on Xiaomi's Redmi Note 14 5G. And just like on that Redmi phone, I've got no idea why the chipset is referred to as Ultra, because it seems to have the exact same number of cores, the same clock speed, the same GPU, yada yada yada, as the regular Dimensity 7025. So what's actually Ultra about it? I'm assuming probably just a couple of little tweaks here and there to make it slightly more energy efficient would be my best guess. And one thing's for sure, the performance here has been absolutely fine. It's been what you would expect from a budget smartphone, but it certainly ain't Ultra. Occasionally, for instance, when you hit that power button, it can take a good second or so for the smartphone to actually power up, which is, it doesn't sound like much, but it can be slightly jarring. The camera can be a wee bit laggy as well. It's usually reasonably quick at swapping between the two main lenses, but the shutter speed sometimes not the fastest, especially when you're shooting portrait pics. The overall everyday running is fine though, to be fair. And if you are a gamer, with the likes of Call of Duty, PubG, etc., other games that are well optimized play beautifully even on the higher graphic settings. You enjoy a silky smooth frame rate. And even games like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves can run on this thing, but do not expect the same frame rate quality. You'll certainly notice a lot more juddering and serious dips in that frame rate at times when things get a little bit hairy. So I'd certainly say limit yourself to stuff like the Call of Duties, the PubGs, where they're designed to run on more budget-friendly smartphones. And the battery life here on the Honor 400 Lite has been perfectly decent these last few days. You've got a 5230 mAh capacity cell crammed inside of that slender chassis, I believe. And then of course you've got the energy efficient MediaTek chipset and everything as well. And I certainly found these past few days, I typically ended a fairly long, busy day with around sort of 20 to 30% battery life remaining if I didn't lean too heavily on this thing. But once you start to introduce a bit of gaming, bit of camera action, then you will typically slip into that battery power saver mode before you finish the day all tucked up with Teddy. There was one day that I did almost kill it dead before bedtime, but that did involve like an hour of video chat action, as well as just over an hour of Call of Duty and Wuthering Waves action. So overall, decent battery life, but certainly not one of the best around. And where you do need to juice it back up again, where you got 35 watt wired charging, which again, far from the fastest around, but just as quick as a bloody iPhone, to be fair. Although of course there's no wireless charging support here, so you are stuck to sticking a cable in the thing. And so kiddies, let's conclude this rather smashing Honor 400 Lite review with a squint at the camera tech. And it's a pretty straightforward dual lens arrangement here. You've got a 108 megapixel primary sensor and a basic 5 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter. So when you zoom in, you are just digitally cropping into the image because you've got that massive 108 megapixel sensor. So you can zoom in up to about 3 times with a lossless finish. But of course the big whoop with the camera setup here on the Honor 400 Lite is the fact that you've got a dedicated camera button, just like you did on the iPhone 16 Pro and the Oppo Find X8 Pro. Now if you give this a quick tap at any time, you will open up the camera app even when the phone is hibernating. You can gently squeeze the camera button to focus, and then if you fully push it in again, you will take a photo. You can also slide your finger across the surface of the camera button to zoom in and out, and it feels pleasingly responsive, just the right level of sensitivity. It actually feels slightly more natural to use than the iPhone's camera button, which I really didn't get on with. But if I had to gripe about something, it's that once again the positioning of the button is far too pushed in along that edge. I'd have much rather it was closer to the corner so you're not sort of stretching across to reach it. And that camera button pleasingly customizable as well, so you can completely deactivate it if you're not really a fan. You can toggle the whole press to launch the camera feature. You can change the in-camera gestures as well. Once again, deactivating the slide zoom and the tap to focus. You can also customize what pressing and holding the button will do. It actually records video by default, but I switched this up to a burst shoot mode. And as you can see there, you can even tweak the sensitivity if you want to. And the result is just a more enjoyable, more intuitive camera button experience. It's like they actually went out and tested it in real life. Now, photo capture generally follows the Apple and Samsung style of bright and bold rather than settling for more natural visuals. Some of my test shots suffered from the same saturation of colours that you'd expect from iPhones, although the hefty processing doesn't usually wash out those lovely blue skies. HDR situations can be a bit of a struggle for the Honor 400 Lite, but it usually copes fine with more ambient conditions, as long as your subject keeps reasonably still. And at least you got burst shot just a button push away, so you can capture loads of pics and just bin the duds. And that sizable 108 meg sensor means you can zoom in around 4 to 5 times and still snap a reasonably detailed pic, while the ultra-wide shooter suffers from a serious lack of sharpness, so mostly just don't bother. And of course, you've got all the bonus camera modes and features on here that you would expect, including a full-on pro mode where you can tinker with the ISO, the EV, etc. Although there doesn't appear to be any love for a bit of raw action here. And if you want to shoot some home movies, well, sadly there's no 4K option. You are limited to Full HD 1080p at 30 frames per second. You may not get that crispy 4K finish, but for simple home movies, the Honor 400 Lite will do a serviceable job. The audio capture is mostly clean, get the occasional wee bit of distortion if there's a lot of background noise or a bit of wind, for instance. And then flip around to the front end and you've got a 16 megapixel selfie camera, and yes, this does come kitted out with its very own LED flash. And you can once again capture up to 1080p Full HD resolution video using that front-facing selfie cam. Again, no 4K option. The stabilization's okay, occasionally a little bit shaky if you're not keeping your hand as still as possible. But yes, you can once again turn on that LED flash, get a bit of that on the go, which is fantastic if you want to shoot a bit of vlogging action somewhere dark, like again, maybe a nightclub or in this case, a closet. And that right there, my lovelies, is my full final frank review of the Honor 400 Lite, a bargainous blow which offers quite a bit for not much cash. Obviously the performance is kind of limited here. You've only got a mono speaker setup, which is a major shame as well. But I tell you what, you got that gorgeous poppy AMOLED display, some pretty slick design, some respectable camera tech. And yes, quite a lot of iPhone style design and features packed in here as well, but in many cases the Honor actually does it better, certainly when it comes to the camera button and the general AI shenanigans. That's what I reckon anyway. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on the Honor 400 Lite down in the comments below. Please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you!